I'm Anni Sarvaranta. I'll be hosting this event today. I happily welcome you all to the very first gas market info provided by the new transmission system operator for gas in Finland, Gasgrid Finland. We will be organizing such events during the coming year, once or twice after this event as well. And the main purpose of this info is to give visibility for market participants and stakeholders on what is happening in the gas sector, and especially from the Gasgrid Finland point of view. Before going to the actual program, a few technicalities. Everything will be recorded into video and will be shared after this event later. And today also this event will be live streamed. If you have any questions during the event for our presenters, please use the microphones. We have two, one with Mika there and one with Ville here. So kindly wait for the microphone to come over to you before asking your question. Safety issues. As you can see behind us, we have emergency exit if something happens. And coffee will be served during the day. Shortly of our program before going to actual presentations, we'll be having CEO's greetings first, then presentation on how market opening actually went, lessons learned, what improvements have already been made and what will be made. We will give update on the situation of market integration and how that is proceeding and what is the development plan for this year. And also introduce you to the strategy process that Gasgrid Finland is starting this year. After Gasgrid presentation, you will have insights from Baltic, how the operations of the new gas exchange has been starting, and interesting graphs on prices and development on exchange side. Then from the Finnish Energy Authority, you will be getting information on tariff process for this year and other current topics. And finally, current topics from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment of Finland. And all this said, once more welcome, and I will give the floor now to our CEO, Olli.
Thank you very much, Anni. Welcome all to this event here in the Finlandia Hall and on the live stream. And I'm absolutely proud to be here together with you here, presenting the few moments what has happened and what will happen in the Finnish gas market. It has really flowed. I want to start sharing some thoughts and views from the very moment the Finnish gas market opened. This is the roughly 7 o'clock a.m. in the 1st of January morning in our control room. During the prior 24 hours, we had our first capacity nomination rounds. You could really feel the atmosphere on the 31st of December when we looked the screens and the bids were coming in and everything flowed there. We were together with our partners, looking that everything worked well in those hours. And then at the midnight, we split two companies. Kind of somebody describe a divorce. What kind of a divorce? Well, I think it was a very good divorce. Of course, a separation, especially the IT. We were able to separate the custody of both our own systems, and everything worked out well. And the things were meant to not work out well, so that was an indicator that we didn't have any connections after the midnight. They didn't work, so we needed to reroute in our systems, and things started flowing by the market opening. So during the midnight and 7 a.m. we established the company and all its operations, so pretty busy night beforehand. And then clock was starting to close the 7 a.m. and at exactly 7 o'clock we started the Baltic connector compressor station at Inko, the startup sequence. And you can see kind of roughly a couple of minutes later after the 7 o'clock we there as chairman of the board and our key people from control room and head of control room starting the sequence and you can see when the gas will start picking up the flow and reaching the high capacities there and there was a bit anticipation that how everything will go. It is a new equipment, but and since we had tested a lot of testing, the compressor station, the connections, everything, they had gone perfectly. So of course we were scared about the Mr. Murphy churning in the critical moment, but no, we are gladly everything worked out and the kind of the great project performance by the Baltic Connector team did the job on the critical moment so the compression station has worked ever since perfectly and gas flowed to Finland. And then I shared where I was able to, a couple hours later, to have a cup of coffee when everything was secured. It was the moment I thought that now we are in a good path, but not necessarily clear. What has happened after that critical moment in the market? I think first month of Gasgrid Finland operations ever was pretty successful on the safety side. This is our main goal. We want to be excellent on this area. We were quite good, not excellent as we aim to be zeros there. Of course, the most important things were at zero, so no accidents, no injuries. One close call when a truck hit a electrical pole in one of the construction yard. So that's of course something we investigated and made the correction in the project team. And one extremely important area for us, please say to all the stakeholders, all the connections that if you ever gonna order excavation service, please make your service provider to check that is there a gas grid. If there is a even close by thing, we come there, help you to identify and make it secure, because that's the biggest technical risk in the what can happen in the overall gas grid. But luckily, January we were okay on that. What was also okay, our infrastructure, it was really reliable, no customer interruptions. You will hear a little bit more on that later with Janne's presentation, but I'm also very excited to have the Inko compressor station in our platform. We had a few gas-powered compressor stations in our network but now we have also an electricity powered compressor. And what that means, it means that it's more flexible. Startup time of the gas-fired is roughly 30 minutes or so. Here is few minutes, less than 5, when you want to need to operate that. It's more cost efficient, it's more environmental friendly. That's what we aim at. So getting the more secure, more cost efficient, more environmental friendly platform to use for your businesses. Happy to see this been working as we planned with the very good reliability. And what it enables. 21st of December, we had one player in the Finnish market. In the end of January, we have 58 registered market participants. They have registered 115 different roles because you can register different kind of roles. We have players importing gas to Finland from both of the directions which are available. And this is something, from one to this level of operation, it really shows that the infrastructure and the market structures developed on top of the infrastructure have been working very well in this situation. So I thank you all. There's many new faces in operating in Finland. Of course, your familiar faces from the last year when we had a very good cooperation in setting up the functions. You were very much in connection with us and I guess everybody else to how we set up the operations. But it seems that we have gotten a good start to do business in the Finnish gas market when it has opened. On the volume side, roughly 1/3 have come from the Baltic connector. It has been fully utilized the current available capacity. So that has been a good thing that the demand for that direction has been available. So, what experiences we had on the first month? What I really want to thank everybody in this room and in the live stream and in the market has been the positive and constructive feedback. A lot of good thumbs ups to us, but also a good ideas how to improve that. That's what we are aim to continue, and I guess our team will tell more about how we're going to do it. We have got one of part of the client feed has been the kind of the team's commitment, the positive feedback to the team and selected individuals on the team. So I want to here to thank the person's whole team as well as the specific individuals at Gasgrid Finland, but also I must underline there has been a lot of partners, the IT service providers, other partners who have been involved in the process. So I consider this all in the team, and this commitment made the market opening possible because we all know how busy the last year was. A lot of things were done in a quite high pace sequences, and therefore everything I think consider went successful because of the good team effort by everyone. We have the commercial function running securely. That's the good thing. It enables you to do business in the system. Also, what we found out, let's talk about that a bit later, and the what we saw that in the Baltic connector, the bidding patterns changed in the mid-month, so we are also monitoring how the system works and learning and how we need to develop the system, and there's continuation of a good cooperation with the ministry as well as the Energy Authority to kind of develop the market even better to all stakeholders. So what we plan to do is the further engage with the customers, with the stakeholders, to how we get this market and every aspect of it better for you. And especially Anni will tell one angle more about that and will in the presentations. We want to get the interplay between the rules and operations also in line. So a lot of things we learn when we get the data, when we get the experiences, and that's where we want to engage with you. We also want to make sure that you have all the information in the best possible format. We are setting up the technical capabilities to, for example, deliver the information through the energy transparency platform. While it took a bit time, we also published them first ever information in our website. So we're going to continue to do so. So if there's if information sharing through official channels takes time, then we will do alternative means to get the information to you. And we are happy to hear what kind of information you need, so we can publish that if it's not something that we are not allowed to do. But our idea is that if it's not forbidden, then we'll publish it if it helps the market. And of course, then we have heard and seen that the user friendliness of the systems is something the persons who are hands-on in the everyday trading and operating of the market is important, and of course we share the same view, and we are on that and developing it further. I guess Ville will tell more about that in his presentation. But all in all, we will continue to develop the market towards our main goal together with you is to become, as a society, as a company, carbon neutral with gases when going forward. I consider it's a good start, but we have just started, so more to come. So I wish you a very, very good event today and on the Finlandia Hall as well as on the live stream. Thank you.
Okay, does it work now? Just a second, I will bit of drink. Okay, thank you, Olli. My name is Janne Grönlund and I work as a Senior Vice President in Gasgrid Finland. My responsibility areas are on the technical side mostly. So I'm responsible for the safe and secure and cost-efficient gas transmission, as well as customers and services. So that is my responsibilities. I have prepared a couple of slides from the technical perspective, how the market opening went and what kind of steps we will see next. Onko tämä vihreä? Okay, so let's start from the principles of operations, and actually Olli already mentioned a couple of these, and these are the meters that we all the time check and make sure that everything goes by the book when we talk about safety, security of supply, and cost efficiency. These are the meters which define how well we manage to operate our grid. So these are extremely important. A bit of history. So basically, if we check the security of supply history, and here we have 10 years now history data, and on the left side, as you can see, we have in a y-axis percents, and this is undelivered energy ratio to delivered energy. And as you can see, even though we have only 1% in the y-axis, still we don't see anything. So basically, we can't see any undelivered energy with this kind of y-axis. Therefore, we have even dived deeper on the right side, and there we can see something. But as you can see, the y-axis is extremely low, and we are extremely proud that we have been able to provide to you customers the gas that you have wanted to use. As you can see also from the box, there are several years and unplanned interruptions to deliveries. We can see it last one has been in 2016. Actually, it was December 2016. So basically, we have over 3 years without any interruptions to deliveries. And this is also our target in the future. And as now we have integrated new parts of the gas transmission network to our grid, this is also something that we need to secure also in the future. So, how did it went? Technical integration with Baltics. First of all, as Olli also said, I want to thank Baltic Connector company. They've done excellent work, and we were able to start operations as planned 1st of January 2020. Of course, due to restricted capacity in Baltic Connector, which we all know and are familiar with, transported volume in January, it was 35.2% compared to technical maximum capacity. So that was the volume that we were able to transport to Finland. But actually the next dot, the interconnection infrastructure, it has worked extremely well. So availability of the Inko compressor station has been 99.6% in January, which is significant when we consider what kind of infrastructure we are dealing with. And those couple of hours which we have had when the compressor unit hasn't worked, those were in the morning when we started the operations, and it took a couple of hours, and then Olli got his coffee. Yeah. But as I said, everything from the technical side has worked extremely well. Then I want to point out the operational balancing agreement which we have with Elering. This is part of the interconnection agreement, but this is quite significant also for the market. So basically, we have agreed with Elering that we will use operational balancing agreement. This brings flexibility, cost efficiency to TSO's operations, but also stability to market participants, because this means that the physical flows in Baltic Connector, they don't have to match with commercial ones each day. Meaning that if we have some issues with Inko compressor, it doesn't show immediately in the commercial side. So this is extremely good, and so far we have had positive feedback and feeling from this agreement. Then, balancing services. This is one topic that I wanted to raise here for discussion also. As you know, we started first tendering round already in December regarding balancing services for January. Gasum was the only one to offer a contract for Imatra receiving for Imatra point, and same happened also in January. So basically, currently also we have a balancing services contract, and it's with Gasum, because we didn't get any other offers from the market. We will start next tendering period already this week, so I hope that you will check it, and we will tell you more during this week. What is also interesting is that due to warm weather and the fact that our transmission network and mainly Inko has worked with high reliability, we haven't have any need for use to balancing services, which is of course good from the cost efficiency perspective. Then. Couple of next steps, what I think that is important. First one, evaluation of the balancing principles and mechanisms. We will analyze the data that we receive all the time from the market regarding market participants' imbalances. And we are currently analyzing how market participants balance their own position during the gas days. And I have a feeling that we might have a need to change a bit these rules. We will have discussions with our NRA, and then we will discuss with market also. But I assume that there will be some changes to the balancing principles. When do we start balancing actions, basically? Next one, cost efficiency. Now as we have integrated our network to Baltic network, and basically we were quite busy last year, so we wanted to focus on safety and reliability of gas transmission. Now I see that we need to focus more on cost efficiency as well, because we have now 4 different networks connected to each other, as well as Russian suppliers, and therefore we need to think about and plan how could we operate our grids with a more optimized way, and that way gain more cost efficiency without jeopardizing reliability of deliveries. And the last one is cooperation with Elering to minimize the influence of the restricted capacity and also those maintenance works which they have published. So we will definitely discuss with them, and we will cooperate and try to find solutions so that we can minimize the commercial influence of these maintenance works. Then last one, basically if you have any technical questions, I have technical team who reads this email, please contact us. For example, if you have new connections that you want to get offers for, or anything else, gas qualities or anything, please contact us, and we will answer you. But this is all that I had this time. Do we have any questions? At least one. Janis. Mika, could you please?
Hello, Jan Seseks from Connexus Baltic Grid. Referring to the last slide, I would like to invite the Finnish market participants also to check the maintenance plans of Connexus Baltic Grid, because to a certain extent we with Elering are already operating one network, and all the influence works are coordinated and to a certain extent interconnected.
And can you please give us information where can we find these plans?
Connexus homepage, capacity connexus.lv.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. I will provide you the link.
Thank you, Janis. More? If not, then thank you, and I will let Ville. Are you the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is my microphone on?
Yes. Thank you very much.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ville Rahkonen. I work as a head of customers and services in Janne's unit in Gasgrid. I'm going to tell you about the lessons learned so far regarding the market services that we are running. And first of all, thank you everybody for giving us very good feedback already. I have some slides about that, and also giving us positive and also the development ideas. They both are very important, because the development ideas, they tell us what to do next, and the positive feedback makes us do it. So it's really important. But first of all, where it all started at the last year was basically the registration. It was a very rough ride, and one lesson learned was that if it's possible to do it on the last moment, then many of us do it. So basically, the December was very busy for us, but everybody who wanted was registered, and I guess the fastest throughput time in our registration process was 2 hours in December. So I guess I promised last year in one info that the registration process will not take more than 1 month. So I guess we streamlined that in December. But basically, Olli already told us that we have 115 registered roles. They might be Same company might be from acting in several roles, but basically we have shippers, 22 traders who are basically network users who don't transport or deliver gas. They trade. We have 15. Then retailers, 22. Distribution system operators, 18. And transmission system end users, 37. And then one biogas injecting party was registered. And the list, the public list of those market parties who have allowed their role and name to be published is available in the Gasgrid.fi web page in the front page, so there you can see the public names. Okay, yeah, but then we ask your feedback when we invited you to this event. Thank you for answering. We got 13 responses. The average rating of TSO's performance was 3 out of 5, which is quite good. And then here are some examples of the feedback. We got positive and also this development feedback from you. So basically, here are some examples, and on the next slides, I will tell you about something what we have already done and what we are going to do. But thanks for the feedback in this questionnaire survey, but also for many who have given us feedback already before through emails or calls or when seeing. This is very important because the market opening, we had to focus on the core functionalities. So basically we have been continuing the development as fast as possible to be able to serve you better, because now we get the feedback from actually using the systems. So it's really valuable to us. But here are some development examples that we have already made or to be expected. We have got a lot of feedback regarding the portal user interface, usability and user friendliness and data visualization. We have already done a lot of improvements there. For example, 1,000 separators and sorting and headings and so far. And then we are still continuing, so please give us feedback regarding that. Then we have had to do a lot of optimization in the data flow between our systems, because we have the portal mainly for the wholesale market. Then we have the data hub for the retail market, and then we have the backend balance settlement system and also integration layer. So basically, we have had a lot to do with the optimization of the data flow. For example, that the system should first process and then send the data to another system, not the other way around. And we are still need to continue to minimize the delays. For example, from the data hub to the portal. And then one feedback that we have gotten from shippers that our retail market, the requirement for the distribution system operators to deliver the measurement data is the gas day plus 2 days. So basically, the problem here is, from a shipper's point of view, is that it doesn't help in within day balancing, and we are actually working as we speak to get this estimation done by TSO already within day. So we are trying to get that up as quick as possible. And history here goes all the way back to 2017, when we were sitting in the market rules workshops, and there we had this discussion that how fast can the DSOs deliver the measurement data. And we had a debate that that how many days will it take, and the D+2 in the market rules, it's a compromise. But it's good that you give the feedback, because then you give us the possibility to also develop the market. Then we have had feedback regarding the collateral, the bank guarantee that the TSO requires in some cases, and then we are investigating more flexible ways to adjust for the shippers to adjust the collateral amounts. And then, as Olli said, we are working on the transparency data regarding Baltic Connector and Imatra. It will be the connection to transparency platform will be established during this month. So, and then one thing that we have recognized is the visibility of final balance settlement data and the invoicing status in the portal. That's something that we will improve in the upcoming months. So, yeah, we hope that you are patient with us and try to understand that, yeah, it's in the pipeline. But basically, this week is we are aiming to do the invoicing of January this week, and also invoicing of the long capacity products of February. Yeah, and for the future, we will publish our invoicing schedule during this month. That what will be the in a way the normal process. This is extraordinary because of it's the first month of the open market. And then we have recognized that we have a lot to develop in the portal and gas data hub instructions. That's something that we need to do. And then we are working on the secondary capacity trading platform with Get Baltic. We had the kickoff yesterday for that development during this year. But the main message is that step-by-step improvement will be continued, and we ask you to give us feedback all the time. And here's some statistics regarding the retail market. We have the gas data hub, which is serving the retail market, and there in January we have 3,400 daily rate sites in the gas data hub, and then the preliminary statistics about the change of retailer events is that we had 32 events, which is roughly 0.5% of the daily rate sites. But I guess that's quite expected that the volumes are in the beginning of market opening have been also in other markets. They are quite low, but then it will have risen then along the months when the market has been evolving. That is something that has happened in other markets in Europe. And then a few words about the next steps regarding our possibilities to join the development. We are going to establish these development forums for our customers. We will have 2 forums, wholesale market development group, where the language will be English. These groups are for registered customers. So basically, wholesale market group will be aimed for shippers, traders, transmission system end users, biogas or LNG injecting parties. And this will be a discussion forum that will help us to develop our services and the wholesale market. And then we will have another group for the retail market development. It's going to be, the language will be Finnish, and it's for the registered retailers and DSOs. And it will help us to develop the gas data hub and the retail market data exchange. And then we have this going to have this rule that because we are trying to avoid that it will be an info session. We want it to be a discussion forum. That's why we are welcoming one representative per registered market role in the forums, at least in the beginning. We'll see how it will evolve. And the materials will be available on Gasgrid Finland's website, so it will be open that all the material is there, also the memos. And how to join? Please send us your contact details, market role you are representing, and the group that you want to join to our email address commercial@gasgrid.fi. That's also a mailbox that you can use in data exchange or market commercial market topics or questions. And in addition, we will organize webinars when needed regarding topics, for example, use of our IT or other services or tariffs or other current topics. Do you have some questions about the market services? If not, I will. Yeah.
I have one question. TSOs also could join the first group?
Yes.
Other than Finnish?
Yes, you are welcome. Yeah, we will add TSOs there.
A question regarding details maybe, but you mentioned collaterals in the presentation for shippers. There are also collaterals for local distribution system operators, which is a change compared to previous system, maybe by mistake in a sense. Maybe TSO could sort of consider if that collateral is needed at all. That's for collecting the energy taxes.
Yeah, it's for the taxes.
And in my view, at least, the only beneficiary of the collateral currently is the banks who are providing for the bank guarantees for a fee for those collaterals. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for the feedback. We will take that. Any other questions? If not, I will give the floor to Anni about the market integration.
Hello again. I already introduced myself in the beginning, but maybe a few words of my areas of responsibility as well in Gasgrid. I will be leading our strategy and market development function. And key development areas this year is market integration with the Baltics and then updating our strategy. And I will give an update on both of these topics today. So, 1st of 2020 came and the Finnish market was successfully open to competition, which was a great effort. But at the same time, we were so ambitious that we already started integration work with the Baltic states. And a few achievements from these processes in the beginning of this year. We established a common tariff area for Finland, Estonia, and Latvia with single set of entry tariffs on external borders and regional coordination of decisions and entry revenue sharing. Basically, this tariff area made it possible for gas to be more easily flown and competition to thrive in this market area with removing tariff from Baltic Connector and the border of Estonia and Latvia. And already the results of removing these tariffs can be seen how the physical flows and flows have been coming and going in the area. And how, for example, electrical storage has been used to provide the Finnish market with gas. And removing the tariffs from the borders has made it a lot easier and more competitive also to use the infrastructure that we had invested in. Then second great achievement in this area in general is the common balancing area for Estonia and Latvia from the beginning of this year. Basically merge whole balancing zones with common IT solution and communication with the market, which makes it easier for market participants to register to the system. They don't have to register to one or two systems, but only one. And with harmonized set of rules and improving service from the TSOs. And the first month of operations, like we have heard from previous presentations and from the feedback of customers and market participants, show that the direction we have taken is right. We can see already benefits from this integration works in competition and liquidity. But we have a lot to do to improve the systems in both or in all of these balancing areas we have now. And that's why all of the presentation givers today from Gasgrid has said that please give us feedback. We really use the information for the purpose. We don't develop the market to our own needs. We develop the market for the needs of the gas users. And what's coming up next, and what has already also been achieved in these past months that has been maybe not so much communicated towards the market yet, that also this market integration work has taken a next step. It was regrettable that we couldn't get Lithuania on board in this balancing area or tariff area development, but now together with the 4 TSOs we have taken next steps and reignited this cooperation work. There have been already a few CEO level meetings between the 4 TSOs and some plan has started to emerge how we can develop this market together, taking into consideration the needs of all the countries, TSOs and market participants. And here is the outline. I will go through of next steps of this market integration. We have 2 different work streams that we have decided to start working on. They work in parallel, but they have different purposes. The first one is the 4-country tariff area. So we know that we have this tariff area for already 3 countries, and we had some trouble with negotiations to have it include all the 4 countries, but we yet again want to make a try on this one. And how we are looking into this process now is that we are starting a joint procurement to have external help and impartial analysis on the key issues that have been maybe the problematic parts for the TSOs. To have someone external to give us help and analysis on those parts. The analysis will have two core areas. The first one will be to investigate how removing the tariff from Lithuania-Latvia border will affect the wholesale gas markets of each country. To look at the impact, really go into quantitative analysis and see what kind of benefits, other impacts removing this tariff really has on the gas users of each market. And the second part will be investigating how discounts on non-third country entry points, basically LNG terminals, and then Jipple point towards Poland from Lithuania, how discounts in these points should be treated and what kind of impacts setting these discounts have on the whole market. Because those have been the key questions that have been not solved and prevented us to finding a solution. And we will be looking into those deeply with external help, and in the end of Q2, hopefully have results of this study, and also at the same time see if we can find a way forward based on this investigation. And again, I want to outline or highlight that this is really done in good cooperation with the 4 countries. So we have found a way forward. And if all of these proceed well, we can continue into actual solution negotiations and agreements, so that we may have tariff applications for the regulators for 21. Basically, this means that earliest in 22 we would be able to do something. So 21 we are going with the same regime we have in place now. Then the other work stream that we have started in parallel is because we don't know how this tariff progress will end. We don't have the results yet, but we have understood and got the comments from the market that this integration and harmonization is seen beneficial. So we want to deepen the integration in all ways we can, and which we find efficient and beneficial towards the market. So again, with the 4 TSOs, we openly want to share how this first month of operation in this new situation with Finnish open market, Estonia, Latvia balancing area, one gas exchange in the whole 4 countries, what we can learn and what we can develop, find the quick wins that help the market and us to perform better. And then what we start or have started is designing of these scenarios of further integration options. We have this 4-country balancing area 22. One possible solution is that we have Finland, Estonia, Latvia in 22. Solution could be Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania 24, when some investment projects on the Lithuania-Latvia border have been finalized. So we don't know yet which option is the best and what could be achieved. So we have started designing scenarios, and when we know the scenarios we want to look at it deeper, we start analyzing the implications on system balancing, supply security, congestion management, commercial setup, IT rules, transparency, decision making. It's actually quite a lot to do when we go deeper into integration. But we want to make proper analysis, proper planning, and we also want to make it openly. So all these wholesale market forms, for example, that we now introduced, also this market integration topic will be there, and we want to share how we proceed and get the feedback already to work in the process with us. And again, at the end of the year, maybe Q3, Q4, we hope that our analysis provides us reasonably good information to make sound decisions. We don't make decisions before we really know what is the best solution. And then again, we will update action plan for the next years. And again, also in this stream, 21 comes too soon. So current setup with 3 balancing areas will be there also for 21. So earliest development or new models that really change big issues will happen earliest from the beginning of 22. But we will hopefully shed more light also on these schedules during this year. But it doesn't mean that we wouldn't do development work or harmonizing work or something in between. That is what we will do continuously with our open and good discussions with the other TSOs. So before I go to my next topic on strategy work, do you have some questions on market integration? Or feedback or something you wish to share with us today?
Yes, I have a question. In case of any potential changes in the beginning of 2022, as you mentioned, what's going to happen with the tariffs? Because the communication previously was that those tariffs that are in force at the moment, they were confirmed till the end of gas year 2022. So basically till the end of September 2022.
Well, that has been already confirmed and decided in any of the countries will of course stay as it is. And any changes to tariff levels will be communicated as soon as possible. Of course, we will be hearing of the Finnish tariff process soon from our energy authority and how that will go during this year. but we want to the market participants to have as long as view as possible of the tariff regime and schedules. We have a little bit different schedules in each countries, so even though we are a tariff area, we are still 3 different regulatory areas, so each of the countries make their own decisions, but in a coordinated fashion. So that emphasizes the importance of cooperation with the regulators and TSOs. Okay. Then another topic I wished briefly to introduce to you is the strategy update that we as a company are doing this year. So our board of directors, who are responsible for our strategy, they have decided that they want to do this deep dive and update with our strategy. And why I'm talking of strategy work with you today here is because we want it to be an interactive process. We have had a lot of changes in the gas market in the past year. The world around us is changing very rapidly. The energy sector is facing huge challenges with climate change. And as we as a nation, as Finland, we need to have a good plan on what to do. And Gasgrid Finland, we want to kind of take a role and part in this discussion and invite the whole gas sector to look into these uncertainties and critical questions that we face together. And this material that we will gather from this process, which I will shortly introduce what we're going to do next, we want to openly share and then use as a platform for our strategy update. We believe that we have a lot of wisdom in our company, but the wisdom of the gas market doesn't live in our company alone. So we want to make this an interactive process. And also highlight our values of openness and transparency. So there will be at least 2 things we want the market participants and the stakeholders to be involved with. The first one is a questionnaire that will be sent out after this event, maybe during this week. Object of this questionnaire is to gather insights into the available developments of the operating environment of the gas sector in Finland in the coming years, up till 2030 or so. And they will be related to kind of identifying the key phenomena and influencing factors. It will be sent out now, and you will have time to respond for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. We really hope active participation in answering this questionnaire, because the better results we get from this process, the better results it will also be for this whole sector when we finalize this process. Then another thing that we will organize is the scenario workshop, which will also be involving market participants, stakeholders, as well as Gasgrid own employees, personnel. Here, once we have gathered the information of the key uncertainties and critical factors affecting us, we will make a more deep dive into these aspects and further develop them and make scenarios. We craft storylines and what we also want here kind of to highlight, that it will actually be a very good learning experience on scenario work for the participants, improve knowledge and understanding on how such methodology works and what is affecting us in Finland. We will have help from the leading consultant in Finland on scenario works, Capful, who have also worked with Shell on scenarios. And if you know anything about Shell and scenarios, you know that they are the pioneering company in the whole world with that work. So it will be also an opportunity to learn. Not everyone will be able to fit in, because the maximum amount that we can have in this kind of workshop is 50 because after that the amount grows, it won't be efficient anymore. But it will be organized in April, and also invitations to this event will be sent out soon. And after we have processed these questionnaire results and the scenario workshop results and done some internal processing, the final results will be shared openly. So even if you don't have time or possibility to participate, you will be able to get the results. So we will have some kind of session like this or other kind where we will go through the outcome of this work. And they will also act as key input to our own strategy at Gasgrid Finland. This is the best way that we also get, we as a company have responsibility towards the whole energy sector in what we do and how we do. So we want to gather this information for everyone. And maybe May, June, we will expect results from this process as well. And we will be sending invitations, but if you think that, wow, this was really interesting and you want to secure your place or invitation, then please come and say hello to me and take from my sleeve, and then we'll see how these invitations will be shared. Thank you. Do you have questions about this process or something else that was discussed in these previous presentations from myself, Janne, and Ville? Timo?
Thank you, Anni. Timo Partonen, Finnish Energy Authority. As we are now working as a common market, Finland, Estonia, and Latvia, and hopefully Lithuania in the future, have you had any discussions with the other TSOs about common network planning? So that
yes, we have had discussions about this, and I would maybe let Janne to answer this question.
So basically, we have had discussions, and we will deepen that in the future. Part of the integration work will be the technical side of the integration, and there we will definitely discuss about the network planning and a project that we will need to have maybe in the future.
Other questions? If not, then we may proceed forward with our next presentation and hear about gas exchange from Gintaras. Please.
Hello, everyone. Last September, I told you that I was surprised how active and involved Finnish people are to market opening. This week, I learned the data, and I was surprised again that almost 100% of all registered Finnish market participants, they are active on the Get Baltic gas exchange. So today in my presentation I will show you at least a few positive messages about the market performance which was impacted by you. I see that most of the people are familiar. We know each other, therefore I have promised to myself that it's the last time when I'm showing this slide for you. But saying the few words about the Get Baltic is that the company was established in 2012. It's owned 100% by Lithuanian gas TSO. We was awarded as the energy project of the year in 2018 for the development of market integration solution, which I will describe you later today. Talking about the services, so our core business is administration of Baltic Finnish gas exchange. Then on top of that, we are allocating capacities implicitly on KMNI and Baltic Connector interconnection point, and we are also do remit data reporting and urgent market messages reporting to ACER agency. It's also important to mention that the company has the organized marketplace status, which was provided by ACER agency. Okay, so let's move to the main part of the presentation. Trading volumes and number of trades. Here you can see the trend, how the volumes are increasing, growing on the regional market. Now we can safely say that that around 7% of total volume which is traded together on the market was traded on organized markets, so 7%, and that share we have also fixed in the beginning of this year. So the target volume for this year is around 4.2 terawatt hours. Currently, we have fixed 1.3 terawatt hours. Biggest part was traded on the daily market, around 2/3, and 1/3 was traded on the monthly market. If we compare the number of trades, so we can see that last year during the month we have our market participants they have concluded around 1,000 trades per day. This year, adding the Finnish market area, we are concluding, or the market participants, they're concluding 2,000 trades per month. Moving deeper to the figures, here you can see statistics how trading on a daily market looks like on a daily basis. And despite the fact that we have a very warm weather outside, our trading volumes are increasing on a daily basis each week. If we dive deeper to those figures, so today we can still say that Lithuanian market area is the biggest one in the region, or the most active in the region on the Get Baltic. Close to 60% of all buy and sell trades were concluded on the Lithuanian market area. But we also see that percentage is decreasing. If we compare those figures with the figures in 2019, so we can see that they are lower, and it was impacted by the warmer weathers. Another message is that this market is completely balanced. So the buy side and sell side are equal, and the reason of that is that we have entry-exit tariffs on interconnection, KMNI interconnection point. That means that it's the gas is not frequently moving between Lithuania and the rest of the region on the gas exchange. The second biggest market is Finland. And it's growing each week. So up to date, around 1/3 of all trades were concluded on the buy side in the Finnish market. and around 20% of all sell trades were concluded here. We can also see that that difference is equal to the capacity volumes which are dedicated by Finnish TSO to Get Baltic. So I believe that yes, if those capacity volumes would be higher, that the trading volumes would be higher here as well. And the third market, which is currently the smallest one, but rapidly growing, is Latvian and joint Latvian and Estonian market area. So you can see from the shares that 6% of total trades were traded here in common zone. But we can also see that close to 20% of all sell trades were concluded in this in common market area. What practically happened is that that difference between buy and sell volumes went to a Finnish market area here. In this slide, my idea was to show you what was the available liquidity on the organized market. So theoretically, it was possible to purchase 6 terawatt-hours on the platform, or sell 5 terawatt-hours. If we compare those figures with the traded volumes, which is 1.2 terawatt-hours, we will have that we will have the fact that 20-25% of all submitted buy and sell bids were fulfilled on the market. Let's talk about prices. And here I was a bit surprised. Of course, there are different reasons why we have such figures. We all know that last year differences between Baltic index and the price which was fixed on the gas support system, that difference was between 5 and 8 euros. Now having a market integration solution on the platform, we are gaining a result that that difference decreases below 2 euros per megawatt hour. So I can say that having in mind those changes, that availability on Baltic Connector would increase, that the markets would be integrated. So, and then in the coming months, that difference should be lower. Exchange participants. So totally, we have 94 contracts with different members in 4 countries. Most of them they were historically registered in Lithuania, but when we are looking to the active number, we last year we have set the target for ourselves that we should reach 50 active traders during this year. Already today we can say that we are very close to our target. 47 companies are placing their buy and sell bids each day. Another figure which I have shortly introduced, relevant to Finnish market, we have signed 22 agreements with Finnish market participants, and all of them are placing bids and conclude trades on the exchange. So your activity is 100%. It couldn't be better. There is one figure from Acer's market monitoring report. Sometimes we are asking ourselves how many companies could practically trade on the gas exchange. and we have different figures in our minds. So here we have here you can see very good graph where on the left side we have TTF and NBP hubs, which are thousands times more liquid in comparison to our region, and their total number of active participants are close to 150, not or up to 200. So that means that it's quite normal and probably close to a final figure that we will have around 50 something active traders on organized market for such size of the region. Okay, I have another part of my presentation is more technical. So if you have any questions about the figures, you can raise your hand and we can discuss about that. If not, then the message from my side is that all of those graphs, they are available on our website. So everything was downloaded from the Get Baltics website. You can find everything. So our target is to be maximum transparent. It means that everything what happens on the gas exchange should be available on the website. Okay, so very shortly about the trading principles. You know, I have just mentioned, we have 3 market areas and 3 virtual trading points in the region. We have daily and monthly products. Both of the markets are utilized. So around 2/3 of all volumes were traded on a daily market, and around 1/3 was traded on a monthly market. There is a question if this product range is sufficient. So probably we can say that for the existing development of the market, we can say that yes. And this opinion strengthens the fact that in the most developed markets, again, TTF and NBP, the biggest proportion of all trades were traded or are traded as monthly products. And the proportion of longer-term contracts has lower market share. Then shortly about the trading hours. So probably you know that most of you know that trading is organized 24/7. The services are also available for 24/7. So it means that you can reach us all the time. When we're talking about the daily market, when we're talking about the monthly market, the trading is organized each day from 9 to 4 p.m. And also one interesting slide for you, which I take from the PowerNext platform Pegas. What are the most active hours on that platform, which is most widely the biggest one geographically in Europe? So there we can see that these hours are from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock. We have also compared our statistics, and we can see that there are the same hours. Why it's important? It's also important to mention that we have market makers, and we have an agreement. In our agreement with the market makers, we have agreed that they will be providing liquidity each day from 10 o'clock until 3 o'clock p.m. So they're submitting their bids from 9 to 10 and without the possibility to cancel them earlier than 3 o'clock. I wouldn't explain in a detailed way our trading algorithm. Probably I would just say that with the market opening in Finland, by adding Finnish market area and also some other functionalities, we most likely tripled our formula, which is inserted into our matching engine. And currently, having such a formula, we have integrated markets, which provides us the possibility to shadow the bids placed in one country to another country. So here in this example, we have just one bid in the Finnish market area, which was placed in the Finnish market area, but practically when we are visualizing bids from Lithuania and the command zone, we have 4 bids totally. That's the way how we have made the market more deeper. And the last slides are relevant to the implicit capacity allocation procedure. So as you know, together with the commodity, it's possible to purchase the transportation. Of course, usually you don't know from which country you are purchasing gas. We can say that around 1/3 of all purchases in Finland they were traded together with transportation. So we have agreed with the TSOs that 80% of all available or remaining capacity will be dedicated for Get Baltic on Cayman interconnection point, and we have another rule implemented by Finnish TSO and Estonian TSO Elering that at least 10% from technical capacity will be dedicated for Get Baltic. And what is our performance by allocating those dedicated capacities which are relevant to Baltic Connector interconnection point? So from this graph we can see that almost all the time 100% of all capacities they were allocated, except some days in the beginning of the year. But when we're looking to the past few weeks, so we see that 100% of all capacity was allocated. And the final slide shortly about the future. So for this year, we have set a few priorities for ourselves. So the first one is development of secondary capacity trading platform together with the Finnish TSO. So Ville has mentioned that yesterday we had a kickoff meeting and we will be moving forward with that project. Then we have another project which we call improvement of our collateral management and settlement system. So we have a contract with Polish clearing house Irgit, who supports us modeling modeling the solution, and during this year and probably it will take also next year, we will be implementing probably partly, or we will be improving our collateral management and settlement system. And then we have some other priorities. So trading automatization, creation of apps which are needed in order to improve communication between our system and your IT systems. So that is also on our table, and that will be done throughout this year. So that's all from my side. Now you can ask questions for the first part and also the second part of the presentation. Okay, so if there is no questions now, we will have the coffee break, then we can chat during the coffee break. Thank you.
Thank you, Gintaras. Actually, I'm sad to say that the coffee break is not yet. It's only after an hour. So we have, as usual, been a bit quicker in our presentations. We always leave room for discussion and questions. And somehow our presentations give so much information that dialogue is not much present. But the next presentations we will have from the Finnish Energy Authority regarding tariff process of this year in Finland and other current topics. Welcome, Heikki.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Heikki Mannermaa and I work as an accounting advisor at Finnish Energy Authority. And today I'm going to say a few words about the tariff process, or should I rather say the reference price methodology process, which will start now in 2020. So, as the all people here might know, Finland has adopted this European Commission's network code on harmonized transmission tariff structures. And what this means is that it's said in the network code that the transmission tariffs, they have to be based on a reference price methodology. So before the tariffs can be set, the reference price methodology shall be approved by Energy Authority. And in accordance with Article 26, it's said that before approving this methodology, consultation has to be carried out by NRA or TSO, and in this case, Energy Authority has decided that this particular consultation will be carried out by Gasgrid Finland Oy. And when launching this consultation, the TSO also sends these consultation documents to Acer, and Acer will then analyze is all information published in these documents that are required in the tariff network code. So does the proposed reference price methodology meet the requirements, and also does the tariffs meet the criteria that are set in the tariff network code? So as I said, this this consultation about this reference price methodology will be carried out by Gasgrid Finland, but at the same time there will be also another consultation which is about the level of multipliers and seasonal factors and discounts that are used, and this another hearing is carried out by the Finnish Energy Authority, and it's for the other Baltic NRAs and other stakeholders. And these consultations, they will be carried out in Finnish and English. And the consultation has to be open at least 2 months. And after the consultation has ended, 5 months after that, Energy Authority will give a decision about this reference price methodology. And what the consultation should include, it's listed in the Article 26 in the Tariff Network Code. So the description of the proposed reference price methodology, the justification of the parameters, the value of proposed adjustments for capacity-based transmission tariffs, the indicative reference prices, the results, components and details of components for the cost allocation assessment, and the assessments of the proposed reference price methodology. And because this postage stamp methodology is used, there should also be the comparison against the capacity-weighted distance model. And the list continues. So the consultation has to include also the allowed revenue of the transmission system operator, the transmission services revenue, and these ratios, capacity commodity split, entry-exit split, and intra-system cross-system split ratios. And the commodity-based tariffs and the non-transmission services tariffs. So the methodology, how they are set, and the indicating tariffs also. Then the timetable of this process. So we have planned that this process will begin in the 1st of April this year. So the TSO carries out the consultation, and it ends after 2 months, so in the beginning of the June. 1 month after that, TSO has to publish all the responses that it has received and the summary of the responses. And maybe in the beginning of the August, ACER will publish a conclusion of its analysis. And it's planned that in the beginning of the October, Energy Authority will give a motivated decision about this tariff methodology so that the TSO can publish the tariffs in the end of the November, so 1 month before they are taken in use. But this is not all, because later in this year, in accordance with Finnish Gas Market Act, there will be another consultation, because the Finnish Gas Market Act says that the Energy Authority have to give a decision about the entry-exit tariffs at interconnection points, so at Imatra and Baltic connector, for next year, for year 2021. And it's planned that this hearing will start after summer, maybe in the beginning of the August, so that the TSO can publish these tariffs at latest in the end of the November. But so this is not going on yet, and I guess that an Energy Authority and Gasgrid also will provide more information nearer into April or March.
If I may add, thank you, Heikki. From Gasgrid point of view, what this means for the market is that this reference price methodology that will be put out to consultation is basically the same that was done last year. But as the Energy Authority did not have the authority last year, according to legislation, we have to, in a way, do it again. And information will be, we will have even more information for the market also to get used to and understand how the tariff process works. So it will be even more transparent than last year with the information. The tariffs itself for 21, they will not be included. For example, exit tariff levels for 21, they will not be included yet in this consultation paper that we will put out in 1st of April. It will be focusing on the methodology, so we will be using basically the same prices that we have now. The focus on the first consultation, this big one required by the ACER and Commission, is for the methodology itself. And then after summertime, when we are publishing our tariffs, we will be planning and seeing how this first years of operations go, what kind of weather does it affect on the next year's tariff levels. Then we will be publishing the actual tariff levels for 21. in cooperation with Energy Authority according to the process they have decided. So do you have questions for Heikki
Any questions?
the TSO?
Yes.
You sound very optimistic regarding the Acer's opinion. For it, actually, the 5 months are quite optimistic time.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice to know.
And maybe I also would like to invite NRAs to deepen the cooperation in the Baltic countries, because I went 5th time over unwelcome comments from Acer regarding the Latvian tariff consultation. And actually there are certain points which are not that tariff related, but NRA cooperation related. Thank you.
And maybe just a short comment there, where you can see Mika Myötyri, he's our gas market specialist, and he will be taking care of tariffs this year. So any upcoming workshops and questions related to gas tariffs, Mika will be focusing on that area this year.
Thanks.
Okay, then we have some other topics from the regulator by Meri-Katriina Pyhäranta. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon also on my behalf. My name is Meri-Katriina Pyhäranta. I work for the Energy Authority and the natural gas market team there. We have a few other processes going on in the Energy Authority this year, and I'll have a few words about them. Well, first of all, we acknowledge that there is an abundance of rules and regulations in place that affect every market participant and that govern the function of the market. So I thought we would take this opportunity to go through the kind of the legal status and position that those rules and regulations have. And then only after that, I will explain the approval processes regarding the terms and conditions we are having this year. So first of all, we have the legislation, both at national and EU level, that governs the functioning of the natural gas market. That is the basis for everything else, all those rules and regulations that are above the legislation. So as it happens, the legislation usually remains at more general level, and then we have more detailed rules than in other rules documents that are not written in the legislation. But everything needs to be in compliance with legislation. So next in line we have handbook on the measurement and settlement of the deliveries of natural gas. And that is something that the TSO coordinates and drafts, and we as the Energy Authority confirm and approve. So that is something that we go through in advance before it enters into force. We will analyze and evaluate that all those rules are in line with legislation. And in that sense, the handbook becomes part of legislation as well. Then we have other terms and conditions that the TSO drafts, and we also evaluate and confirm the terms and conditions. It means that we go through them in advance before they enter into force. And this is the Energy Authority's role in approving the terms and conditions, but above that, the TSO has its own rules, market rules and agreements. And they're kind of comparable when companies do business with each other, they have contracts, different rules, terms that govern the relationship in their business. So that's more comparable to that. But Energy Authority doesn't have a role in those market rules and agreements. So this was kind of an introduction to what we approve. One thing more. I assume that it might be sometimes difficult to recognize which document has been confirmed by the Energy Authority. So I took this screenshot from Gasgrid's website to kind of to show you where you find them. This is the English version of the website. So there is the title Gas Market, and under that legislation and regulation. If you scroll down, you find the title Gas Market Terms and Conditions, and there you find the links to all the approval decisions that we have made. These are in Finnish, and the documents are in Finnish. The handbook is in Finnish and Swedish, so unfortunately they don't exist in English, at least not yet. But here you can find the documents that the Energy Authority has approved and confirmed. And these are the same documents that we will be reviewing and confirming this year as well. This is because we approved the terms fixed term last year because we acknowledged that the market is only now opening, and then we need the experience from the market to see how the rules function, if they kind of respond to the needs and requirements of the market. So this is the reason we will be going through the whole process again this year. Probably most of the terms and conditions will remain the same, but we will organize hearings to get your feedback, and TSO will have a key role in drafting the rules or the terms and conditions, but we will give you, the market participants, the opportunity to give your feedback if you want to say how you think the rules function and what would be required in the market. And then we will confirm the documents before they then enter into force for the next year, or until further notice. Probably until further notice, because then we probably have the necessary experience already to say that now these are the rules, and then we will change them only if, and review them only if there is specific need. Also, the terms and conditions regarding the use of LNG facilities, namely the Hamina LNG terminal, that is planned to be taken into use in the beginning of next year. These will be reviewed and then included in the terms and conditions this fall. So the authority process will start in the beginning of fall 2020. So you can find information about the hearings at our website through the Energy Authority's Twitter account, and we will also ask Gasgrid to publish the information on their website so that the information would reach everyone. And then just a short note about the natural gas data hub services. There is an amendment to Natural Gas Act now being handled by the Finnish Parliament. This will give the Energy Authority the competence to approve the terms and conditions regarding the natural gas data hub services, as well as the principles determining the fees related to the centralized data information exchange. So this is something that the Energy Authority will also do during this year. This is all from my part. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. Yes.
Marko Alekson, Scanero. There is also some kind of legislation for the shippers to keep a certain strategic reserve if your sales is actually over 15 million. I don't know, I have read them all probably, but I've never seen written anything about that. And how is it meant to be, specifically for the shippers, which are not Finnish origin, for example? I mean, Lithuanian seller to Finland, or do they have to keep the fuel in the tanks in Finland to cover this obligation or something? And it's not covered here. Where is it covered? How is it meant to be fulfilled? Thanks.
Thank you for the very good question. Is Arto?
I think Timo Vapalahti, if you're here somewhere.
Yes, hello. Timo Vapalahti from National Emergency Supply Agency. This storage obligation is based on a Finnish act about obligatory stocks, and you can find these in Finnish legislation website like finlex.fi. And basically this obligation is usually it covers the end users. But if this end user is very small, this obligation would come to the previous level. So it could be the sales company or importer of gas, and also the shipper as a company importing gas from outside to Finland. And this storage obligation is supervised by our agency, and in the beginning of every year we are making an inquiry for companies or end user of gas and how they will handle that obligation. And we have sent information about this item to all registered players in the Gasgrid Finland website, and also a previous companies who has had this obligation earlier. So if you have some questions, you can send email to our agency or call us. Thank you.
Any other questions? You can always contact the Energy Authority, and we are happy to provide answers to any issues you may have. So you can also reach us later. Thank you.
Thank you, Meri-Katriina. And now, before we get your coffee cups, we have Mr. Arto Rajala from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment of Finland between you and the coffee. Welcome, Arto.
Okay, probably the mic is on now. I'll try to be brief today so that we will get our farewell coffee. I have given a topic or ask to speak about the current topics from our point of view from the ministry. So I have only two or three items that I'd like to present. Probably most of you know me from the history, but my name is Arto Rajala, and I'm responsible for the gas market opening in the ministry and also energy market legislation. How we see the gas market today in the ministry, I have to say that there have been several civil servants in the ministry that has looked like a hang on keksi. I can't translate it into English, but we have been very happy. We see that the gas market opening has been completed successfully, or even better. There are several heroes sitting in this room, and also outside this room that has made this big change in the Finnish gas market possible, and on behalf of the ministry, I would like to thank you all. I won't mention names, but probably most of you recognize those people who have been behind this project. We set up a steering group in summer 2017 to coordinate market development work with representation from Gasum, Baltic Connector, Energy Authority and Ministry. And this steering group completed its work in December and we decided that we probably will collect a report in the future, what we have done and what we have discussed. Maybe it will take not so short period, but anyway, we have decided that we try to do that. So currently we have reached the first level, but as we have noticed today, the work continues. We also decided to set up a new steering group to continue the coordination work, as the old steering group proved to be very useful instrument for that and for gathering people in very complex project implementation. However, due to the TSO unbundling and due to that we also have developed the first versions of the market rules. We have considered that probably we will adopt a more strategic approach in the market development and leave more room to the roles of the TSO and also for the role of the national regulatory authority. So it is not necessary to discuss so detailed, for example, for the market rules than that it was in the first round. The composition is for the steering group is the following. There are Arto, Rajala and Elina Hautakangas from the ministry, Anni Sarvaranta, Ville Rahkonen and Mika Mietori from Gasgrid Finland, and Timo Partanen, Meri-Katriina Pyhäranta and Buzkys from the Energy Authority. Maybe we have visiting stars also in our meetings, but we will start with this group. And what is of course an important work for us and is the integration with the Baltics, which will be in a quite active role in the coming months, as you have heard from Anni's presentation. A few words about the current status of our legislative actions. We actually have mainly the first round of the gas market legislation for open gas markets in force. However, there are some projects going on that will give some amendments for the legislation regarding gas markets and gas system operators. The government bill for amendments for the gas data hub is currently in the handling of the Parliament's Committee for Economic Affairs. Yesterday there was a hearing for competent authorities. It was very promising from my side. The feedback was much better than I expected. So probably there is no need for handling in the constitutional committee. I'm quite sure about that, and so this means that we can expect quite smooth and brisk handling of this bill in the Parliament. The hearing of branch organizations will be held on Friday. Some of you also have been invited to that hearing. Another government bill is also at the table in our ministry. It is the government bill for curbing increases in tariffs for electricity distribution. The public hearing is currently ongoing, and it will end on Friday. We expect that the bill will be submitted to the ministers for decision on week 13. That is the last week of March. There is only a small amendment that has impact on gas diesel and diesels. It's because of the amendment in gas in tariff regulatory periods for electricity and gas system operators. Then a third government bill is also in table on the table of the ministry. It is for the implementation of the amended gas directive. I have drafted a notification for the Commission, and also the necessary amendments in legislation. And if I remember right, there will be amendments in 3 paragraphs in Natural Gas Market Act and also the Act on Supervision of Electricity and Gas Markets. So the act that regulates the work of the National Regulatory Authority, and they are only of technical nature. So this is purely a law of legal technique, I would say. I expect that the public hearing will be launched in early March. There should be March, and the government bill is expected to be submitted to the ministers for decision on week 16 at the earliest, and the week 16 is on April. And then maybe I should say also some words about the regional gas market integration. We see that our work will in the future focus on that issue. And Anni described about the future steps. Maybe I can be brief on that, but I also like to note that the Regional Gas Market Coordination Group, that is a group established by the 4 countries, ministries and NRAs and TSOs, made last week a breakthrough in a roadmap exploring options, steps for decision making, and a timetable for full market merger of Finland and Lithuania with the regional gas market. And as Anni described, there are 2 main themes for this roadmap: tariff and 4-country inter-TSO compensation mechanism, and a full market merger, which means a joint balancing area for 4 countries. What was a big news in this question is that also the Lithuanian Ministry, National Regulatory Authority, and Ambergrid supported the draft roadmap. There was also strong support and commitment by the Commission, and I myself, I'm very happy that the Commission has taken so active role in this process, because I've noticed their commitment in processes like this mean. For example, in what they have achieved in the field of infrastructure, gas infrastructure in Finland and Baltics. Probably the roadmap will be finalized in a couple of weeks, and then the implementation work will start. The proposed roadmap aims at exploring a regional gas market model during this year. A decision of the market model endorsed at political level and based on the proposal by a regional gas market coordination group is aimed at by the end of this year also. The necessary decisions have to be adopted during the latter part of this year and the early part of next year, and the implementation will be done by the TSOs and the NRAs during 2021. I have and the aim is joint tariff area and the full market merger from 4 countries from the beginning of 2022. So the roadmap means that now there is a plan how to plan and develop the model and how to make decisions that is needed to reach those objectives that are set. However, we cannot be sure that we finally reach the objectives. The decisions will be made later, and they will be made by each TSO, NRA, and also each member country, member state in their political level. But I think this was also good work from the TSOs that proposed this draft roadmap also from the Commission side. And I think also the NRAs and the ministries have made their share in this process, because we really had a few weeks ago quite different opinions from, for example, from the Lithuanian side, how to about the future steps of the market integration. I hope that we will be also successful in this process. I think that was all from our side, and I would like to thank you for your presence here, and if you have any further questions, I'm ready to answer you.
Questions for Arto? If not, thank you, Arto. So, we have come to the end of the day. It's 2:00 and we have still coffee served outside. So we have all our specialists who have been giving presentations today there to have coffee with you. Please, let's drink some coffee and discuss more gas market. Hope you enjoyed the presentations and got good information for developing your own plans and businesses. Thank you from my side and behalf of the whole Gasgrid team. It was wonderful yet again to see this many people interested in our current topics. Thank you.